welcome to the Daily Encouragement from the Metro Church of Christ in Gresham, Oregon. I am Rick Edgman. This morning I would like to take a look at a passage in 1 Corinthians chapter 1. Let me read 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 25. For the foolishness of God is wiser than man's wisdom, and the weakness of God is stronger than man's strength. That word foolishness is found in 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 25, is a Greek word that has as its root the word moron. It is a word that basically means silly, stupid, worthless. And so there are those who think that believing in God is foolishness. But God's foolishness is wiser than man's wisdom. Now, no one likes to be thought of as a fool. Yet being a fool for the right reason really isn't foolishness. Many years ago in Chicago, an apartment had caught fire, and quickly glancing around the apartment, a mother of 3 children couldn't see them. And so she dashed outside and looked frantically around for the children, thinking that they might have already escaped. But she didn't find them, and the building was getting consumed with the fire. But without hesitation, she bolted back into the building to try to rescue her children. They survived, but she didn't. Now, was that foolishness? During wartime, there are stories we hear all the time that men will fall on a grenade in order to save the lives of fellow soldiers. Is that foolishness? Is that foolishness for those who love their children, or for those who love their fellow man, for those who are willing to give a sacrifice and think that it's not too great when the danger is real for those that we really love? Was it foolishness when Jesus died on the cross for mankind? You see, in a fairy tale or in a Hollywood movie, the story would have ended totally different. The mother would have survived, and the soldier, although he may have been greatly injured, he would have gone to a hospital, would have been put back together, and everything would have been fine. In a Hollywood movie, the life of Jesus would not have ended the way it did, even though after his death, his resurrection was great news. Reality is all too often very different from fairy tales and very different from movies. And we need to understand that the Bible has no fairy tale view of life here on earth. The Scripture is no storybook theology or study of God on how right decisions are revealed within it at just the right moment when any harm may be done away with for the believer. The Calvary of angels doesn't always come to the rescue at the last moment. We may pray for it, but lives may come to an end physically. But the great hope is once that physical life is over, we have an eternity in heaven. You see, the message of the cross isn't, why don't you come to me? Why don't you come to Jesus Christ, and your life will never have another sad moment. Your life will never have another bad moment. Your life will never have anything go wrong in it if you'll just come to Jesus Christ. But you see, the real message is different. The real message from the Bible is, by faith, you will receive the power to persevere. You will receive the power to overcome all of the badness, all of the persecutions, all the trials that you are now enduring. That comes from 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 4. You see, no one likes to be thought of as a fool, and yet being a fool for Christ really isn't foolishness. Jesus was and has been and is considered by the world to be nothing more than a fool. And the followers of Jesus are considered by so many as nothing more than foolish people who live foolish lives, following a foolish man who died on a foolish cross for foolish people who didn't love him. God knew what mankind would think about his son, and yet he still made the sacrifice. He made the sacrifice because he knew that there would be those who would yield to the very power of the cross. It's true. There are those who do not believe in the wisdom of God, that the wisdom of the world is all there really, really is. But a time is coming when, in reality, folks are going to find out the foolishness of God is wiser than man's wisdom, and the weakness of God is stronger than man's strength. There is no doubt that in my life I have done many foolish things. But my belief in Jesus Christ and my belief in putting my life in his hands is not one of the foolish things I've ever done. It has been one of the most wise things I have ever done. I'd like to end this little time we have together with a reading of 1 Corinthians chapter 1, beginning with verse 18. 1 Corinthians 1, verse 18, reading from the New American Standard Version of the Bible. For the word of the cross is foolishness to those who are perishing, but to us who are being saved, it is the power of God. For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise, and the cleverness of the clever I will set aside. Where is the wise man? Where is the scribe? Where is the debater of this age? Has not God made foolish the wisdom of the world? For since in the wisdom of God, the world through its wisdom did not come to know God, God was well pleased through the foolishness of the message preached to save those who believe. May I encourage you today with the truth that it is not foolishness, but it is very wise to believe in God and in his Son, Jesus Christ. May God continue to bless you with wisdom and with strength. Have a great and wonderful day.